Darwinism to coin survival of the fittest. At Wallace's suggestion, Darwin himself eventually adopted this concept too. It remains the basis of popular understanding of evolution today. Everyone knows that nature is harsh and only the strong survive. But they are only partly right. Nature is harsh sometimes, the strong survive often, but the weak stand a chance too. Both experts and the public join Darwin in overemphasizing natural selection, thereby distorting our sense of its role in both nature and humanity. Natural selection does occur, but there are non-adaptive mechanisms of change as well, such as genetic drift, geographic isolation, and the founder effect. None of these paths to survival rewards the hardest struggler or the best specimen. Their rewards are governed not by merit, but by chance. Genetic drift, the most prominent of these mechanisms, is the random change in the relative frequency of a gene variant, or allele, within a population. Genetic drift results in the survival not of the fittest, but of the luckiest. One example is the northern elephant seal, Mirunga angusturostris. This seal experienced what evolutionary biologists call a bottleneck, an abrupt and drastic reduction in population size due to an environmental shock. By the late 19th century, the northern elephant seal had been harvested nearly to extinction for the oil derived from its blubber. Just 100 or so specimens from Guadalupe Island off Baja California survived under the protection of the Mexican government. Those seals' alleles persist in today's population, not because they were selected, but because they got lucky. Geographic isolation occurs when a population is cut off from the other members of its species. It can lead to speciation by means of inbreeding within a narrow gene pool. The isolated population has only so many variants in it, and only these can be passed down and recombined in the next generation. The result is divergence from the original population, as each is now reproducing a different set of alleles. The origin of the new species is not natural selection, but chance. Likewise, the founder effect occurs when a few members of a population strike out from their habitat and start a new community. But though these founders may initiate an enduring lineage, they are not necessarily the fittest of their kind, nor do they necessarily adapt to their new environments through the fixation of advantageous mutations. A famous example is the small group of pigeons that landed on the island of Mauritius ages ago, lost their ability to fly, gained 20 kilograms, and evolved into Rhaphis cuculatus, also known as the dodo. The origin of this species was due to chance. Specialists understand all this, so they avoid using survival of the fittest. And they know that natural selection does not cull every useless, exaggerated, and inefficient mutation, preserving only the best. Yet in 2007, Richard Dawkins defended the image of nature as a miserly accountant, grudging the pennies, watching the clock, punishing the smallest extravagance, unrelentingly and unceasingly. Indeed, evolutionary scientists as a group have done little to disabuse the public of Darwinian conceptions. Though the list of phenomena known to pass under natural selection's radar is long and getting longer, scientists behave as though natural selection were natural law. They may not do so as openly as Dawkins, but their bias shows in their nearly exclusive focus on the discovery and confirmation of adaptations. Journalists, reflecting and reinforcing the public's selection bias, trawl issues of science and nature for the latest evidence of possible adaptations, not the more complicated story of how evolution really works. In that story, the humble and the humbled survive and multiply. The inefficient and the wasteful are certainly not the fittest, but they are good enough to make do. Natural selection has fashioned beautiful works, but it also tolerates a great deal of mediocrity. Even Darwin and Wallace thought so before the Origins publication in 1859. 3 years earlier, Darwin described nature as clumsy, wasteful, horridly blundering, the opposite of the grudging efficiency monger. That same year, Wallace affirmed nature's tolerance for inutility. You mean to assert, then, some of my readers will indignantly ask, that this animal or any animal is provided with